Body odor may be a taboo subject, but we're all friends here, right? There's so much that could make you smell bad. Some of it is obvious, and some, well, not so much. Let's take a deep nosedive into the things you never realized were making you smell bad. Spicy, strong-smelling foods can tag you with their tang a few different ways. For one thing, the scent of some aromatic spice is attached to your tongue and teeth, according to the Cleveland Clinic. This flavors your breath in a way you may not find very pleasant.
Hi, nice to meet you. Okay, she's got one flaw. Her breath reeks.
Garlic and onions release sulfur-like chemical compounds as they're digested, which can also impact the way your breath smells and get released through your pores. The same is true for pungent spices. Food can also make you sweat more if it contains capsaicin, the chemical found in hot peppers. One way to deal with garlic breath, according to, well, research on garlic breath, is to eat some apple alongside it, according to the BBC. Certain chemicals in raw apples seem to neutralize the odor molecules of the garlic. If garlic plus apple doesn't sound appetizing, mint and lettuce can also help. The foods you didn't want to eat when you were a kid, namely cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, and their relatives, are called cruciferous vegetables. Their distinctive flavors may be a welcome addition to a foodie's palate, but when the body digests these veggies, they release pungent, sulfur-containing chemicals. One medicinal chemistry consultant told HuffPost, "These compounds are absorbed into the body and secreted in sweat. And the accompanying odor can last for up to 6 hours. That's no excuse to avoid cruciferous vegetables, though. They're full of fiber, vitamin C, folate, and potassium. They also contain compounds that seem to be protective against cancer. Studies have suggested that a diet rich in cruciferous vegetables lowers the risk of bladder, breast, colon, lung, and pancreatic cancers, according to the Cleveland Clinic. They're also beneficial for heart health and may help prevent asthma, Alzheimer's disease, and some infections, according to an academic review of research on cruciferous vegetables published in the Journal of Functional Foods. You can neutralize their odor-causing properties by parboiling them in water with a pinch of salt, according to HuffPost. Diabetes is a disorder in which your body doesn't produce or stops responding to the hormone insulin. Without insulin, the blood sugar that your body uses for fuel can't get into your cells and remains in the bloodstream. As a result, your body begins to burn fat instead of sugar. This process causes a buildup of acids in your blood called ketones, which, among other things, produces a distinct breath odor, according to WebMD. The fruity, acetone-like scent, similar to that of nail polish, can signal a serious complication of diabetes called diabetic ketoacidosis. For someone with diabetes, acetone breath may mean something is seriously wrong, warranting a call to the doctor or an ER visit, especially if accompanied by other diabetic ketoacidosis symptoms like unexplained thirst, frequent urination, fatigue, nausea and vomiting, sudden weight loss, and lack of sweat. Do carnivores smell bad? As part of a study published in Chemical Senses, researchers tested the effects of meat eating by having 17 male test subjects follow a controlled diet for 2 weeks. Some were given meals that included meat entrees every day, while the others had similar meals without the meat. On the last day, they wore cotton pads under their arms for 24 hours to collect their body odor. A group of 30 women then rated the odor of each subject. Odor samples from men on the non-meat diet were rated as much more attractive and pleasant, while less intense than samples from meat eaters.
I don't want you to have to pay $100 for a lousy piece of meat. Honestly, I'd rather pay $1,000 to watch you vomit in front of these people.
In a 2017 Evolution and Human Behavior study, researchers surveyed men on their eating habits for the previous year, questioning how frequently they ate over 200 different foods. To sample their body odor, the guys wore a t-shirt under their clothes for 24 hours, which were then sniffed and rated by female volunteers. Eating more meat didn't have an impact on attractiveness, but one study author told NPR, women basically found that men who ate more vegetables smelled nicer. What's more, this connection held up when the researchers assessed the guys' fruit and vegetable consumption with a device that measures skin hue, because pigments in plants that we eat get deposited in our skin. Not all sweat is created equal. Eccrine glands cover most of our body and release fluid that cools you down when you're hot. A second type, the apocrine glands, releases a thicker sweat. Apocrine glands are found in spots where body hair grows, like the groin and armpits, according to Mayo Clinic. Unless you're Bruce Lee, who had the sweat glands removed from his pits to look better on camera. The extra fat and proteins in apocrine sweat makes it a prime target for bacteria, who go to town and produce chemicals that cause body odor, according to Men's Health. The apocrine glands become active when you're stressed, along with the rest of your fight or flight reflex, like a rapid heartbeat. So while gobs of sweat during a workout may not produce much odor, your sweat during an IRS audit could bring on the funk. Or, say, landing a plane under extreme pressure.
Push up,
Finding a good antiperspirant will help if you're a nervous sweater, as will trimming your armpit hair. By the way, you may be able to blame your ancestors for your funk, Men's Health explained. Scientists speculate that we may have evolved to produce this odor during stressful situations as a way to ward off predators. It's not sweat that makes us stink, it's the bacteria that combines with it, according to Mayo Clinic. Sometimes bacteria do worse than that, though, and infect your underarm hair. Dermatologists call this condition trichomycosis. It doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can produce discolored sweat, excessive sweating and sweat stains, and hair loss as the bacteria destroys underarm hair, as well as heightened body odor, according to Healthline. Small bumps on the affected hair are another clue. Although women can have this condition, men are more prone to it since they're less likely to shave their armpits. Treatment for trichomycosis is pretty straightforward. Regularly washing the area, using an antiperspirant, reducing moisture with a drying powder, and laundering your shirts between uses should clear things up in a few weeks or so. Oh, and you'll need to shave off the affected hair. A doctor might prescribe an antibiotic cream or ointment to rout the bacteria, or in some cases an oral antibiotic. Sometimes bad morning breath is a warning sign that you're not getting enough sleep, especially if it's accompanied by snoring at night and sleepiness during the day, according to Men's Health. You may have sleep apnea, a condition in which you stop breathing during sleep because your airway becomes blocked. This can happen when the muscles of the upper airway relax, keeping air from reaching your lungs, causing you to briefly wake up throughout the night. Along with snoring and restless sleep, other symptoms include gasping or choking sounds during the night, morning headaches, and problems with memory or concentration during the day, according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, or AASM. Sleep apnea often goes undiagnosed. You might wake up numerous times at night but not remember it. People who are overweight, middle-aged, or male are more likely to have it, according to the AASM. It can cause bad morning breath because it makes you more likely to breathe through your mouth, which makes it easier for halitosis-causing bacteria to breed, explained Men's Health. If you suspect you have sleep apnea, take the AASM's self-test and consult your doctor. Earwax has a smell. In fact, people with different genetic backgrounds have different smelling earwax, according to NPR, though you'd probably need to go digging with a Q-tip and take a deep sniff to detect it. However, if your earwax is noticeably rank, it may mean one of a number of ear-related ailments. You might have a blockage of earwax in your ear canal, which can cause an earache and hearing problems as well as smelly wax. Or you might have a full-blown ear infection, especially if the smell is accompanied by pain and drainage. An object stuck in your ear canal can also cause wax reek as well as the above symptoms. But of course, if you jammed something in there, you'd probably know it. Swimmer's ear, an infection caused by water that stays in the ear canal, is another culprit. A less familiar cause is a cholesteatoma, which is a benign skin growth that can occur behind the eardrum. Smelly wax is one of the first symptoms, according to Healthline. Whatever the cause, never try to resolve it by sticking anything, including a cotton swab, into your ear canal. Excess earwax is best removed by softening it with an over-the-counter product and flushing it with warm water via a bulb syringe. See a doctor if you suspect an infection or something serious. If your gym clothes stink, it's not really your fault. Blame the odor-producing bacteria that migrate from your skin to your clothing along with your sweat. By the way, your underarms alone can harbor more than 1 million bacteria per square centimeter, so you can't really fault them for wanting a less crowded neighborhood. However, your choice of fabric can impact how well stinky bacteria are able to grow and proliferate on and in your clothes. In a 2014 study published in Applied and Environmental Microbiology, researchers put this to the test by having 26 men and women complete a bicycle spinning session, then putting their t-shirts in a plastic bag for 24 hours. Not only did a smell testing panel rate polyester t-shirts as smelling less pleasant and more intense than cotton shirts, lab tests showed that the synthetic fabric harbored more odor-producing bacteria than the cotton fibers. The microbes grow better on synthetic fibers, researchers explained, And it seems that the odor molecules themselves attach more easily to cotton fibers, instead of being released into the air, as with polyester. In a person with the rare genetic disorder called trimethylaminuria, or TMAU, the body is unable to completely digest certain foods, resulting in the buildup of a chemical that produces an odor resembling rotting fish or garbage. The odor is the only symptom and can really have a negative impact on those around you. Because of this, TMAU can lead to serious social and psychological challenges, according to the National Organization for Rare Diseases. In a study published in the American Journal of Medicine, about a third of people who were struggling with unexplained abnormal body odor had undiagnosed TMAU. People with this condition don't necessarily experience the odor all the time, and it may not be strong, so it's not always an easy condition to identify. However, there is a lab test that can detect it, according to the Monell Center. Treatment options include avoiding foods affected by TMAU, such as eggs, broccoli, soy, kidney beans, saltwater fish, and organ meats, and taking an antibiotic that will affect bacteria in the gut to keep the odor-causing chemical from being produced. Is stink in the nose of the smeller? In some cases, yes. Some men may smell better or worse depending on who's doing the sniffing. And in this guy's case, ew, gross. The reason is a chemical called androstenone, a derivative of testosterone that's present in male sweat. In some mammals, the scent of this chemical conveys social and sexual information. In humans, the possible role of this chemical is complicated by the fact that it doesn't smell the same to everybody. In a study published in Nature, researchers tested the volunteers' ability to detect androstenone and many other odors. They also took blood samples from the subjects to analyze the genetics relating to odor perception. They found that a single gene affects androstenone perception. People with one version of this gene perceive the chemical as smelling foul or urine-like. For people with a different version of the gene, it smelled more like vanilla or had no smell at all. This raises questions about how social signals might be transmitted by androstenone, given that it smells different to different people. Study author Leslie Vossall asked, what could be the social and sexual implications of this on one's perception of the smell of fellow humans? We don't know, but it seems like human beings love trying to figure it out. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Health Digest videos about various body conditions are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.